What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be looking at the 99 zone defense and the 99 man defense, the way I was able to, get it put together. Just take a look at the cards. Some things are dual style. Regardless, though, people are asking if they don't have a lot of coins, how do they do it? Pretty much a lot of these things, you need somebody. It's much easier if you use a friend. And like I said, be careful of the friends that you use. If you get a random message like, bro, let's trade cards to get the dual style sets done, and you never seen him, and the guy's name is I'm going to steal from you, that's his actual user PSN ID or Xbox ID, he's probably going to do what his name says. So don't do it. You know what I'm saying? If somebody that you know, obviously, it was much easier. Special thanks to BY Electrify, just helped me out with the whole situation with the cards that were needed and let me borrow cards. It was easier. So just be careful with that. If you got coins, you probably already have it done. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of guys out here that got just ridiculous amounts of coins that just bought Schefter stars and just said, F it, I don't care. That's the easiest way to do it. But keep in mind, guys, you cannot resell or do anything after that with the Schefter stars. So make sure it's somebody you're going to keep. You know what I'm saying? Don't just spend money. Like I did that earlier for Randy Gregory and stuff like that, because earlier in the season, when there were like vicious A gaps and stuff like that, Randy Gregory was the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Once they started patching stuff, it wasn't the same thing, so we had to change it up. Bruce Arians is the coach right there. He gives you plus 20 and plus 20. You should already have him by doing the previous style sets. So make sure that you guys understand that and make sure that that's done. Here we go right here. We're going to go ahead and jump into the Giants. And like I said, after I show you that stuff, I'm showing you guys the gameplays because it's easy to beat the computer regardless of the level by just running inside zone, fullback dive, things like that. You're going to beat the computer all the time. So don't, regardless, just make sure you have a game plan for it and come out and do it. You know what I'm saying? So you guys can go ahead and enjoy the gameplay. I'm going to talk about the New York Giants and the season that they had. And like I said, I'm just giving you guys my point of views. If you guys want to listen to my recaps that I had during the year, I'm on iTunes, I'm on Android, GmiasWorld Podcast. It's available, worldwide. Over 100,000 downloads just this year alone. So you guys, you're probably missing out on some nice commentary. Like I said, I'm going to be honest about it. I'm not a fan of any team. I just enjoy watching football. So I'm pretty much, straight. I'm giving you what I feel. If you guys follow me on Twitter, Instagram, stuff like that, I post stuff all the time about whatever. I don't care. Like, if guys, what is that? Why is he just breaking every tackle? If guys are playing like bums, if you're a fan, you can't really see clearly. And that's what the problem is. You're hoping for the best. It's sort of like, Eli Manning. In my opinion, he's one of the luckiest quarterbacks to ever play the game. Okay? To beat the Patriots not once but twice is something that, he deserves to go into the Hall of Fame just because of that. Because those are two Bill Belichick coach teams that he somehow, regardless if you guys say that, he closed his eyes and threw the ball in the air. A lot of guys have a lot of different opinions. The defense was very, very stout. Absolutely. The defense was crazy both times. But at the same time, you got to give this man credit. That's still a Bill Belichick's it's a Bill Belichick defense. Tom Coughlin deserves credit. But let's just talk about this year, the year that just passed, their season. Obviously, Victor Cruz not being there to help OBJ out the whole year was a major, major situation, bro. It was major. It was something where they couldn't find somebody else that could fill that void. And even though, Victor Cruz is coming off knee surgery, all that stuff like that, he got calf, knee injuries, all kind of stuff. He was still a threat because Victor Cruz, he's able to get open. He's able to beat the press. The guy can play football. He's something that would have definitely helped OBJ. They have to figure out because you got to double OBJ. Except for people try to say that Josh Norman locked him up and stuff like that. For the most part, there was a lot of different zone coverages being used. And at the beginning of that game, I know you guys remember, OBJ was wide open and Eli Manning overthrew him. Because I can just remember that vividly because that was a real exciting game. OBJ torpedoed into his dick. Like, it was a lot of stupidness. It was a lot of rage. They tried to portray OBJ as something that he's not. Look, sometimes with competitive nature, it gets the best of you. If any of you go, Doc to the computer. If any of you guys ever play competitive sports, sometimes you lose your mind because you're trying to win so bad. I've been guilty of that. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't do anything crazy and dirty, whatever like that. Like I said, I wrestled, college, high school, stuff like that. But I wasn't trying to do wild stuff where the ref was going to be like, yo, what the F are you doing? I may have body slammed guys, and that's against regulation. You got to, a certain amount of inches off the mat that you can lay him down and whatever like that before it's like, you lose the point or whatever and it's a penalty. But depending on what was happening, pick that! I would rage, bro. Like, yo, at the end, it's like, you got a couple seconds and you got to get two, you got to get one, you got to escape, you're going to do whatever you need to do. And OBJ was in that situation where he felt that, you know, Josh Norman was, you know, disrespecting him as a man. And you got to, you know what I'm saying, you got to claim, you got to rep your set. You know what I'm saying? Is it rep your set? Like, I'm just trying to make sure my gangster terminology is right. I'm not, you know, repping your set. I think it's like, is that Cali? Because in New York, we weren't saying that. But I don't know. Either way, you know what I'm saying? I'm just going to go ahead and just say, I don't know. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about exactly. But yeah, you guys know what I'm going for because I go from both sides of the coast. I try to make sure that, you know, I got love for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Bruh, it doesn't really matter where you're from. Yerp! You know what I'm saying? Like I just said you heard me from New Orleans. I don't know what the hell that was, but that was all you heard me. Bro, yerp! You see, did you get it? Did you get like, yo, bro, listen, it don't really matter. Pretty much this one's over, and that was a brief summation of what I thought about the Giants season. Obviously, if you want to get more, just search GmiasWorld Podcast and download it for free, worldwide, available. Until next time, one love.